Good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of rokrbox TV. My name is Josh Cunningham. I'm the founder and CEO here at rokrbox. I've got a very special guest for you today. One of our clients out of Sin City, Las Vegas, Mr. Rob Morganti. How's it going, Rob?
Good, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing excellent, man. Great to see you today. I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to kind of share with us some of your success that you've been having recently. Of course, you've had a great deal of success throughout your career. Your team is one of the top 10 producing teams in all the Las Vegas area, doing over $100 million in production. So congratulations on that.
Thank
Want to
you.
be able to provide our viewers here some insight into some of your tips for success and some of the things that you're doing to keep the hustle up and keep grinding and keep closing these deals. So why don't I pass the spotlight over to you, and you give us a little bit of background information here about how long you've been in the business and what you got going on there with your team this year.
Sure. So number one thing is that, like right there, that shelf, that is the alcohol shelf. So that helps out a lot. No, I'm just kidding. So been in the real estate industry about 25 years. Started off in New Orleans right out of high school in '87.
Hmm.
Through college, kind of played around a little bit. Got here in Vegas in '95. Kind of hit the real estate market hard since then.
Hmm.
Um, just grinding away. Started just by myself, figuring it out. 5 deals, 10 deals, went to 20 deals, went to 30 deals pretty quick. And then I was like, okay, I can't do everything at once. I need some support and I don't know where to go. So a broker told me once to either be the assistant or hire an assistant.
Hmm.
So I hired an assistant, kind of went into it. That took me to the 50, to the 75, and 100 was my goal, 100
Hmm.
transactions. So pretty manageable, 10 a month, 8 a month. But then we wanted to grow the team. And so my wife builds all of our websites, handles all of our lead gen. You guys know Delilah. Handles all of our lead gen, does all of our backlinking, marketing, everything else, gets our lead gen coming through. And then started collecting buyers agents.
Hmm.
And what's been successful for us from a team perspective is low turnover. So we always like to see our agents succeed, and we have guys that were on our team before that are in the top 250, top 100
Hmm.
individually by themselves after they leave the team. But we like to keep a core team. We have 5 or 6 buyers agents right now that have been with us over 3 years. And that's what's been probably most important for us in building the team. It's manageable for us at 200, 250 transactions a year with the team that we have and the support systems that we have. Anybody can get to 500, 600 as long as you keep adding on levels of, micromanaging. You
Hmm.
can't, possible for myself to manage. You, Josh, is bring on people in your great company to get people to kind of take care of different departments. You can't do it all. You figured it out to kind of grow the business and do what you need to do. You got to support yourself with successful people. And that's what we do. You look
Yeah,
at every CEO and every great company around here, they're smart, but they're surrounded by people who are probably a lot smarter. They just hire
exactly.
well, and that's what we do. So that's kind of where we are back in the background here in Las Vegas. Been slinging it through a couple of cycles here where it's been up and down, and we just kind of push through it each time.
Yep. That's great, man. So you hit on a really good point there. It's one of the keys to your success is retention. What would you say are some of your keys within your own organization to retaining this top talent and keeping them from going on and thinking that the grass is greener on the other side?
Right. Well, I mean, look, it's everyone's perception is the grass is always greener on the other side. And it's never us to say, oh no, it's not. Stay here and hold people down.
Hmm.
I think we create a family atmosphere here at our brokerage to where we open to ideas. We want people to have family time. We don't want them to come in at 8 in the morning and grind scripts and calls to what you guys are for, to sit here and grind and do the scripts and everything and make all these calls when we want them to be producing. We know
Hmm.
family time is super important. Loyalty is super important to us. Trust factor is important to not only myself, but into the team and vice versa. And spreading the wealth. I think everyone consistently, we don't have really producers that are making so much more money than the other guy. I mean, we as managers, including myself coming from the home building industry, we're only as good as our lowest performing agent.
Hmm.
Anybody can easily set the bar from someone who's got a great capture and a great retention and a great conversion rate. But we as managers, I'm judged by the guy who's struggling,
Right.
the guy who doesn't have that. And I got to improve their skills here, his or her skills to elevate them, to make them more productive. And that's where the loyalty comes in. And it's constant training, always available phone call, 24, I hate to say it, on vacations, we take phone calls from the buyer's agents. We make sure their offers are comfortable. They're in a cruise control to where they kind of run their own business through me.
Mhm.
So it's kind of a support system. And I think the main thing in keeping the retention is the support. They know
Yep.
that myself, Delilah, you guys, our brokers, we're there to help them through any situation. It's easy to sell a house. My philosophy is with these guys, it's easy to sell a house.
Mhm.
It's really hard to close a house.
Yeah.
You get the emotional side of selling a house can be easy with buyers because they love it. They love the location, love the school, love whatever. But it's the back channeling that is really frustrating and really can really be hard for agents that don't really know, or they need the support, and we're there to kind of help them with the good news and bad news all at the same time. But we love to
Yeah.
see our agents succeed. If they want to go on their own, believe me, we'll help them out. I got somebody that was on my team. She comes in my office a couple of times a week looking for comps, and hey, what do you think about him comping this listing? How do you feel about it? And we are there to support each other. We want to see people succeed.
Yep. That's awesome. Yeah, real estate's definitely a community, and it's
Yeah.
I think you talk about the family environment. It's really incredibly important to have that within your business. Here at rokrbox, we say that our purpose is to move people forward,
Yeah.
and it's obvious that we're moving them forward through the sales pipeline. But it's also exciting to get to see the impact that this work makes on the individuals that are doing it. Their career gets to hit fast forward when they graduate here from Texas A&M and walk the stage with multiple job offers.
Awesome.
And then, like you said, the agents on your team, you as a team leader, we free up your time and allow you to grow your business and spend time with your family and have that freedom in your life. So why don't you talk to me a little bit more about your online lead generation world? How long have you been in it? What were some of the frustrations you guys were facing that caused you to turn for rokrbox as a solution?
Well, so we have a couple of platforms that we use, and it's really what we figured out. It took us a while to kind of be introduced to rokrbox, but we always thought we could try to get through it and manage it. So it's like herding cats when you have all these leads coming in, and you get 100 leads a day and 2 are really active, and the other 98 are wasting a lot of 5, 6, 7, 10 agents' times
Hmm.
in getting through. They come across as $1 million sales, but they want $1,200 a month rentals. So you got to kind of fish through that, and it can get frustrating to a point to where it's constant denial from a agent standpoint.
Yep.
So we know, the best example that I use is the last scene of Shawshank Redemption when Andy Dufresne's trying to break out of jail and he's climbing through all the crap and all the BS and all the just the stink and the filth to get through it. Those are like a big pile of leads, right? And then you get to the end where you're doing this and you're like frustrated and the rain's coming down, but now you're on the beach with your buyer closing the deal.
Yeah.
So you got to climb through, excuse my language, you got to crawl through a bunch of shit to get to the one, but it
Yep.
ties up a lot of time.
Yeah.
So what we did is we were introduced to rokrbox and what you guys have provided, kind of listened to the whole sales presentation and kind of went through and kind of, we don't just knee jerk. We really think things through and what's been benefit. I asked for referrals across the country and talked to some people and how it benefited their business. I know Julie Youngblood here in Vegas gave great recommendation here in Vegas. And I kind of talked to her directly and how it increased her business and what it did. And what it did for us is it freed up myself and my team to really concentrate on quality.
Hmm.
Quantity is great. Quantity is the advertising on the grocery carts. Quantity is the bus stops. Quantity is the billboards. Quantity is throwing 500 business cards in the air and hopefully somebody picks them up. We want the quality.
Yep.
Our conversion, and you guys will probably go through our conversion, has been pretty strong, hovering around the 12 to 18%, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
on what we're getting, but we're getting good transfers,
Yep.
and we're having someone weed them out. And if we're not getting, you guys aren't live transferring them to us, it's kind of funneling the leads. Okay, we spoke to them, they inquired, we're passing it off, we weren't able to get a hold of them. Now these guys are really concentrating on a quality lead conversion,
Right.
which has worked for us a lot easier than getting 100 phone calls and getting hung up on 98 times, because it
Yep.
can get mentally draining. And I think that's where burnout takes place with newer agents. I
Yeah.
think it's just, you go to the car sales guys where it's okay, you're my new sales guy. Welcome to such and such Buick. Come on in. Okay. Go through your phone, call everybody, tell them that you're selling cars now. And if you don't sell 3 off of that phone, then you're going to be let go.
Yep.
That's where the frustration sets in. And with us here, with the relationship that we have with you guys at rokrbox, is a quality transfer as opposed to a quantity transfer and frustration. So,
Yeah.
there's frustrations, there's ebbs and flows when it comes to the transfers that, buyers aren't communicating correctly to our lead, to our guys who are filtering. And when we get them on a live transfer, oh no, I didn't want that, I want this.
Hmm.
And that's fine as long as they're talking to a live body. I think it just kind of motivates them a little bit harder to close them. You
Yeah.
know, that's kind of where we are with that. But it was extremely frustrating prior to the rokrbox experience of leads, because we would do Zoom calls and I can't manage. It's impossible for me to manage 7 buyers agents, 500 leads, 3,500 leads in sync,
Yep.
Zillow leads, realtor, everything through follow up, like everything. It's impossible to manage.
Yeah.
So, I can manage 7 guys, but I can't manage their 200 leads. It's impossible.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
what
It
we
just,
do here, it's really kind of made it a little bit, dummy proof actually.
That's great. Yeah, it really starts to compound on itself. I love the analogy you use there. Of course, our name rokrbox is an analogy for the old gold mining tool. And of
Mhm.
course, you can visualize, all that sand and gravel and dirt that goes through that tool and then brings out those flakes of gold, which is the quality that you're talking about. I think I like your analogy a little bit better
Andy
though about
Defresne,
the yeah, about
I mean,
climbing,
it's true. I mean, that's kind of
escaping
it.
from jail and
That's like
climbing
the
through all.
metaphor of everything. When you look at that, that's one of my favorite movies of all time, is
Yep.
all the frustration and all the trials and tribulations you're dealing with. You're going to
Yep.
break out and figure out, you cross a paradigm by breaking through the Rita Hayworth picture, climb through all the shit, you break free, and now you're loose, and now you're living your best life, right?
I
So,
love
I
it.
mean, that's
I'm gonna
where
have
we're
to
at.
use. I'm gonna have to steal that one from you, Rob.
Please do.
Uh,
Please.
and then you talk about lead fatigue. It's obvious that's the reason why we exist as well, because you said you get a couple leads that come in the first day. You can make those first round of calls, but as we know, there's a lot more calls and following up with those. We make 7 calls in the first 10 days, but as you have these 7 agents and they all have their own leads, and are they making all these calls? It's just this huge pile of compounded work that needs to be getting done. We were talking about it offline before we hit the record button here, but I mean, that's what it takes to win. It's really just, it's not rocket science. It's just being consistent and
Yep.
dedicated to doing that work each and every day. So talk to us a little bit about your experience with having rokrbox in place, having us make all those calls, consistently, persistently every single day, and handing off those warm opportunities to you.
Well, I think it's great. I like I said before. I mean, getting the warm lead transfer or someone that's been briefed. I mean, we do know that when people call and they're looking for specific zip codes, or they're asking your guys in College Station, okay, what's going on the corner of Warm Springs and Eastern? Like, you guys don't know that answer. So when it's turned over to a local agent here, we kind of have that. And some guys, we get some hangups on the transfer and things like that. And oh my God, I can't believe I got somebody live, and they are just inquiring. I mean, it happens,
Hmm.
like that just is what it is. But the warm lead transfer, and we have contests, and we talk about it in a group text with our agents about, oh my God, I got this lead that just came across, so awesome, I'm going to go show him $1 million house today. Oh
Hmm.
my God, I just got some guy who wanted a $2 million house that wants a 800 1-bedroom rental.
Yeah.
It's just, you have fun with it, but the whole experience has been great.
Yeah.
It's the money spent versus the conversion. It more than takes care of itself, because
Yep.
my wife and I are huge ROI guys. Like, we want to make sure that the return on the investment is worth it.
Yep.
Are we just throwing money at it to see if it sticks? We did that. We tried every lead gen source for the past 15 years. We've used US HUD. We've used all these guys with their phone numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, goafyourself.com,
Yeah.
email, everything you could possibly think of, because they'll give you 30 to 50 leads,
Yeah.
but not quality leads. I mean,
Exactly.
and when you do these pay for lead sites, first 5 days are always great. Last 5 days are always great, because you paid for it. They want to show you results.
Yeah.
They want to show you results so you can pay again. So
Yep.
the 20 days in between is where we really get some good handoffs from rokrbox and getting these warm leads. And the agents, couple of the agents are old school. I like to call all my leads myself. I'm like, brother, there's no problem with that. You can do that in between the rocker box handoffs. You got
Hmm.
2,000 people to call if that's what you want to do, and you got a 10% conversion. I'm expecting 20 deals out of those 2,000.
Yeah.
So or 1%. So it's been a great experience for us. I mean, we've had, it's a little apprehensive at first, like, okay, here it is. And look, you hear it all the time, Josh, where people are saying, yeah, right, somebody's going to call, but it's like a real live person, kind of pseudo scripted, but kind
Mhm.
of still putting them off guard and kind of making them a little bit more comfortable. Um, where, the handoffs have been good. I mean, we
Mhm.
floor propped a lot of the handoffs on the spot, and we have guys that are actually on searches that were sync leads that are coming out to Vegas for holidays, Thanksgiving, Labor Day. We just had a couple of syncs going to a couple of rocker boxes going to contract. So,
Nice.
it's definitely helped.
That's great. Talk to me, if you would, about some of these contests that you're running with your agents, just to maybe create some inspiration to our audience here. We're big on competition here at Rockerbox. We always
Yeah.
love
So
anything you measure, you can improve, and
yeah,
it's always great
we
to.
kind of do like bragging rights, right?
Yeah.
So we rag on each other and have a good time. And that's where the family atmosphere. There's no hold punch. There's no holds barred. Um, we have a good time in the group text. Nothing offensive, nothing crazy, nothing demeaning.
Mhm.
We really provide support in public. But if someone's struggling, we don't do that in public. We call them in one on one and kind of sit down and talk to them. The
Mhm.
contests vary. I mean, hey, look, if I get something that comes up and they pop the third rocker box deal instead of the commission split we normally have, I might just give them the commission.
Mhm.
Just kind of incentivize them because they never know when it's going to happen. They're like,
Yeah.
okay, my third one, I could get a 220, a 250, and let me manipulate my $5 million deal to 100%. Like they don't know when it's going to come. It just happens, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we do that. We incentivize with Apple Watches.
Oh, cool.
We want to make sure that everybody has ability to answer a phone, or
Mhm.
get a message. iPads. We do little staycations in Vegas. Things that are really super cool. That want to just to kind of keep them. And they're competitive amongst themselves. I mean, they have
Yeah.
their own little contest. Say,
That's
hey,
good.
look, if I get 3 this month, you owe me dinner, and they do it
Yeah.
among themselves. So it's really been a good experience.
That's awesome that you've got that environment in your office.
Yeah.
Well, lots of great tips here, Rob. You've shared a lot of insight with us. What would you have to say to someone who is maybe considering, reaching out to Rockerbox and signing up for a
Call me.
solution like this?
Just look.
Mhm.
It's super important that, I mean, you sit here and you're considering, you're looking online, you're reading Google reviews, you're looking at certain things. And I never am a fan of that. I always talk to the sources that are actually using the system
Mhm.
and find out what their success rate is. They're going to be
Yeah.
honest,
Yep.
and people who complain and say things aren't very good, I could probably 99% guarantee it's because they're, they're not ready for it. Like
Yep.
they're not up for it. They're not planned for it. They don't know how to react to it. They're narcissists at best. Most realtors are. We are. That's just what we are. We love awards. We love these YouTubes. We love the rocker box TVs. We love being in front of the camera. I mean, that's just who we are. And
Mhm.
so we want complete control. So you have to release some of that control and kind of let it flow. But I
Yeah.
assure you, my biggest thing was, oh my God, they're stealing my lead gen. They're stealing my lead flow. Data is the new currency, blah, 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 blah. You hear it all the time. Just pick up the phone, call me, ask Josh for a referral in your city that you're in that may somebody is using them.
Mhm.
Uh, you're not going to interfere or step on their toes and say, Rockerbox, give me this guy while you're doing that guy. You're not competing against another agent. You're trying to
Mhm.
better your team and better your lead gen. Now they don't do everything in the world for you. You still have to convert the buyer. They're just turning over a hot lead.
Yep.
You have to do your work, but they
Yeah.
kind of are, you know, like a pitching machine. Like
Yep.
where the ball's going to be at all times. They're throwing it right at you. You still need to hit the ball.
Yeah.
So I always recommend, if someone's interested in the program, to call a referral base.
Mhm.
And my phone's 24/7. Anybody can reach out to me at any time. I can take it private and tell them my ebbs and flows, what my concerns are, which I call Brady all the time. He's always awesome in responding to our needs from any time of the day. We shoot emails. My wife and I sit there and we do our morning walks, or sitting there hanging out at dinner, come up with some stuff. We'll email Brady, get an answer. If not that day, the next morning.
Hmm.
And it's open. It's an
Yep.
open line of communication. If it
Yep.
doesn't make sense for you guys, you'll talk to us why and why not. But yeah, I always recommend, if someone is considering, I mean, I'm not going to say, yeah, do it 100%, go for it, and then it doesn't work. You need to know why it's not working, because I
Yep.
promise you it's working if you just got to release a little bit of the control.
Yep. Yeah.
And
And
that's
you also alluded to your client care manager or your ramp up coach, Brady there.
yeah,
Obviously a big piece of the solution that we're providing is just all this work that's being done for you right behind you. And we're smiling, we're dialing, we're pounding the phones each and every day. But in addition to that, we have our own coaching program. We call it Ramp Up.
yep,
And I want you to kind of just share some of your takeaways about that experience that you've had with Brady, because we do have one manager assigned to every single account here in our office. We review your numbers weekly in our leadership meetings. We talk about things that we can do to improve your conversion. But they're sort of your eyes and your ears behind this whole team of callers that are supporting you. What are some of your favorite things about that Ramp Up coaching program?
Well, I think the accessibility that we have with Brady, I think
Yeah.
that's first and foremost, not only from a one-on-one perspective with myself and Delilah, but the entire team. Like,
Hmm.
Brady has no issue if I shoot him an email, say, hey, look, let's jump on a Zoom call with my team and kind of hear what they're telling me. I want them to tell you personally.
Hmm.
So the experience that I've had with Brady is that you guys have always, you're open to constructive criticism. You're
Yep.
open to the whys and how this may benefit, because not every team is structured like us.
Yep.
Every team, you might have a mega team that has a 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 inside sales agents that are strictly dealing with the 5 lead calls from rokrbox, and then they're disseminating those to the agents.
Hmm.
But we have a point of contact, but our agents are the ones that are directly receiving the phone calls. So
Yeah.
it's important that I can't get feedback from 5 or 7 agents at one time and get them to Brady all at once. I'm like, Brady, look, once a month, every other week, let's get together and kind of hang out, do a quick little 30-minute, 45-minute Zoom call, piggyback on because I try to do a Zoom meeting every 2 weeks.
Hmm.
But I see my guys, talk to them every day. But
Yeah.
the openness that we have with our coach and with our account manager, I guess
Hmm.
we could say, and we consider, like, Brady part of the team.
Yeah.
So, like, if you guys were here in town and we may run into each other at Tiger Stadium, who knows?
Hmm.
Take you guys to dinner and figure it out.
Yeah.
But if Brady was here locally, he'd be part of the team.
Yep.
We'd definitely, going out doing lunches and getting him more involved and hearing what our agents have to say. So that part isn't, okay, here, pay X amount of dollars. Here's your warm leads. You figure it out. I mean, he's constantly updating on what our conversion is, on where we need to be. You guys should do better on this. We need to do better on that.
Hmm.
And I think just that kind of communication that we've had, it's almost like an extra set of eyes for us as managers with our agents, because we go through each one of our guys and what their conversion rates are. And I've taken one agent off of the platform just
Hmm.
because of not picking up, just
Yeah.
not doing anything with the leads and not putting in notes.
Yeah.
The notes are
Well,
what's really important for us.
yeah, well, we're glad that you see the relationship that way, because we absolutely think of ourselves as business partners. We're an extension of your office, and you're an extension of ours, and we only succeed if we succeed together. So glad that you feel that way as well. But Rob, again, I don't want to take too much of your time today, so why don't you give our audience here your contact information? If someone has a referral buyer or seller in the Vegas area and you need help and you want to deal with a top producing team, Rob's the guy. Rob, how
Yeah.
do they get a hold of you?
Yep. You guys can reach out to me on my personal cell phone at 702-540-3775, 702-540-3775. That's my personal cell. Text, email is robmorganti@gmail. Just really super easy, ROBMORGANTI@gmail. We do a great referral base. If it's not me, and I usually handle the referrals myself, just because it's just, more of a personal experience. I have the
Hmm.
opportunity and time to do that. But anything that I can help you guys with, if you have questions about rokrbox, or you're thinking about getting on the platform as well, pick up the phone, call me, introduce yourself. We'll have a nice little conversation about it. Pros, cons, which the pros way outweigh the cons. I promise you that. And the cons, what's great about the cons is that they can be discussed.
Hmm.
They can be fixed. So
Yeah.
those are pretty easy. But yeah, reach out anytime.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Rob. Appreciate your time today, and we'll let you get back to your busy schedule. And thanks as always for watching another episode of rokrbox TV, and stay tuned for even more guests with more success stories. And give us a like on Facebook as well, facebook.com/rokrbox. And we'll see you next time. Thanks again, guys.
Go
Thanks, Rob.
Go Tigers.
Take care.